Good Sunday morning. Today's topic is Seagull engineering. This is part of Boomer U's ongoing education web series. Shout out to PragerU. That's the model for this U period. So, Seagull engineers, what are they? It was kind of a joke. For the first few decades of my career, I was in plants for a long time. Vehicle manufacturing plants. So being in the plant and being a site asset, I traveled a lot, but mostly I was at one plant in New Jersey. We would comment on engineers or politicians or whatever you wanted to call them from the front office, salesmen, coming and going, and then you would see them over the years repeat. So the term seagulls inside a big manufacturing plant are these people that come in and shit on something or steal your French fries and go. So that is the inside joke. So what do seagulls do? Well, somewhere in there I realized I was one because I traveled to other plants, other cultures, other manufacturing cultures across North America and got to see automation being installed and replacing people, or automation being installed and augmenting people. A lot of it was for ergonomic reasons. You can't expect a person to pick up a 200-pound object more than once. So you can't demand that. Not in this country, anyway. You might be able to get away with it, but you can't demand that. So it's just an interesting perspective to see how actual countries, actual states, actual engineering groups dealt with the problems of manufacturing something fast, cost-effective, well, and functional. How many people do you replace inside a manufacturing process? Because, robots are cheaper than people, and it's only going to get better or worse, right? Artificial intelligence was another topic out there. So these Seagull engineers had many shapes and forms. The seagulls I dealt with were control systems engineers, very highly specialized people, or I had a deck hardware specialist when I needed a hard drive recovered, multi-platter, 5-platter hard drives, RKO5s, if you remember, deck equipment. This is the old days. This is 60s, 70s, 80s electronics, computers that used transistor logic and little round spheres for memory, little magnetic spheres all wired together intricately on a board, 64K of memory. Address that. So, Seagull engineers, these are the people that come and go. My goal always was to not have to come back. I needed whoever I was going to work with, going to pass on, going to help understand the challenges they face and give feedback to the appropriate organizations. You need to build a rapport with people. So, in different states, different countries, multilingual countries, working with a Korean automaker in a North American assembly plant with Mexican engineers. Yes, they have those, and they're damn good. Mexican nationality speaking Spanish language, speaking Mexican. And Koreans that didn't want to pretend to speak either language but their own. So there was interesting geopolitical dynamics going on and working with a system that reported to 8 different countries, at least, supply chains. You got to get the metal there, you got to get the plastic there, and then once you put it together, you got to get it to the dealership. Global supply chains. So these seagulls are part of that supply chains. This is a knowledge base. This is going into a plant and spending 3 or 5 days with 3 to 5 people on 3 to 5 shifts, trying to work through a challenge and make them comfortable enough to deal with it the next time, or prevent it from happening the next time. So you're teaching a person how to walk up to a keyboard with confidence, and these are custom keyboards. These aren't like your ASCII keyboards. But if you've written keyboard software, keyboard handling software, keyboard mapping software, it gives you a little bit of an edge. If you've watched a person that has never typed before and their lack of confidence in their keyboard skills or their finger ability, typing with one finger is fine, but watching the screen while you're typing. So, why does that matter? We had a death in an assembly plant. An electrician was crushed by a robot, and it was a tragedy. It was a very hard to prevent tragedy because of assumptions made from a few different directions. So you lost a friend, you lost a person you knew, you lost a part of a family that had been in that assembly plant for maybe a few generations. And that's what happens. That also initiated a whole new safety lockout schema, plan, training, years in the making to prevent one accident, just one. So these seagulls, these people come and go. So there's an explanation of seagulls. They have a unique opportunity to see applications of sophisticated controls machinery, which are just concepts to begin with. Once you've seen this, you can apply it to the next piece of a puzzle out there. That's only one perspective to use, but maybe I'll cover flying monkeys next. Peace out. It's a big world.